This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 3308 Radcliffe Road, Thousand Oaks, California, 91360. Today's January 31st, 2021. We're performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS cleanout located just to the left of the front door in the grass area, right at the edge of the sidewalk. This is our 4-inch ABS cleanout here. This is our sidewalk area here, and this is the approach towards the front door here. And we went ahead and zeroed out our camera monitor here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drop down. We're just going to take a good look at the sewer. So it does appear that we drop down. We immediately transition into what appears to be vitreous clay. And what it does is it appears that they just broke open the top of the vitreous clay to put the clean out into it. And as you can see, we do have some root intrusions coming in from that area. So again, we're just going to drop down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and were able to get our camera lens angled in the right direction, heading out towards the city sewer. And what we're going to do is we're just going to flush a toilet to run a little bit of water just to clear our camera lens to get a clear view of the sewer. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, we ran a little bit of water, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. Again, we'll just utilize this little bit of water to help us push out. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And we're dropping down. And it does appear that we do have a fairly large offset in this joint here from about the 3 o'clock area all the way down to about the 9 o'clock area. And again, we're going to just go ahead and jump up and over this area. And again, as you can see, we do have, just after we jump up and over that area, we do have another fairly large offset with a fairly large root intrusion in that joint. So again, we're just going to attempt to jump up and over that area and get past that point. As you can see, the root intrusion is pushing all the way through. And again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. What we'll do is pause here for a moment. And it does appear that we transitioned to what appears to be concrete sewer pipe. And as we push out, it does appear to be concrete sewer piping. And again, that joint, a little bit of the neoprene band exposed in that joint there, but nothing major. And we'll pause here for a moment, get a little bit more water running. Okay, again, we just went ahead and flushed the toilet again just to get a little bit of water running so we can get our camera lens clear. And that way we can see the joints. Okay, get the camera lens clear. And again, in that joint there too as well, we do have a little bit of the neoprene band exposed in the joint. These joints are approximately 10 feet apart. Again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And it does appear that we do have a root intrusion in this joint here. What we'll do is we'll make a little turn here. We're going to push out. We're going to drop down into what appears to be made a little bit of a turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause here and locate this area. Okay, again, we went ahead and pushed all the way out into our city sewer tie-in, and we're at about, just in the middle of the street, we're at about 8 foot 11 inches deep. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to pull back, and as we pull back, we're going to pull back to we had some fairly large offsets with root intrusions. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back to those areas, and we're going to locate and mark those areas. So as we pull back, we're just going to take a good look. And again, as we pull back, we're pulling back into concrete sewer piping. And as you can see in these joints here, you do have the neoprene band that's exposed in those joints. And we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back slowly. And again, these joints are approximately 10 feet between joints. And again, in that joint there, you see a little bit of the neoprene band exposed in that joint from about the 3 o'clock to the 6 o'clock area. So when I say the neoprene band is exposed, you see the band, the black band that's here. There's a black band that goes around this pipe. So typically when they set the pipe, there's a black band. It's kind of a rubber type of band that connects the two. And so what's happening is that it's made to do this, to shift a little bit, because to have some give for earth movement, earthquakes, things like that. So just a little bit of that band is rolling up into the joint, and that's why you see it exposed. Nothing super major. It's just something that to be aware of. I look for eroding the concrete. Concrete is notorious for cracking and kind of eroding in the joints. So you'll see pieces of concrete missing in the joints. This one's
what happens that they were telling the person that's the tenant here.
Okay, again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, we do have a little bit of neoprene band exposed in this joint as well, as you can see from about the 3 o'clock to about the 6 o'clock area. Okay, again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as well in this joint, we do have the neoprene band that's exposed in this joint, as you can see from about the 3 o'clock to about the 9 o'clock area. A little bit of concrete eroded in that joint. And again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as we pull back to a fairly large root intrusion in this area. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back a little bit more. And it does appear that the vitreous clay, we transition back into what appears to be vitreous clay from the concrete sewer piping. And this is our transition here. And right in the transition, we do have a root intrusion coming through that joint. And as we pull back, you can see that there is a break in the vitreous clay. So we'll just pause here for a moment. Okay, we went ahead and located this transition here, and it's just to the right of the walkway as you approach the front door from the front of the house at 7 foot 1 inches deep. And we did place an orange flag, and it is in the ivy area, and we did place an orange flag to identify the area. So from this point, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, again, we do have a root intrusion in our transition from vitreous clay to concrete sewer piping. And as we pull back, you can see the large root intrusion. We do have a fairly large break in that area as well. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, we do have another major offset in this area as well. Okay, again, we're going to go ahead and pause here for a moment. We're going to mark this area as well. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Okay, again, we went ahead and located this area. And it is in the ivy area. We did place an orange flag in this area. And it is at approximately 8 foot 3 inches deep. And again, this is just on a little bit of a hillside, so the depth could vary between, I would say, between probably 7 feet to 8 feet deep. And again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And again, as you can see in that area, we have a fairly large offset. And just behind it, we had another large offset with a large root intrusion in that area. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. We're making a little bit of a turn. And those joints appear to be fair condition. And we continue to pull back. And as we pull back, as you can see, we do have root intrusion in this joint as well. And this is as we pull back up. And again, this is what they've done is they had broken a hole at the top of the vitreous clay to stub in the 4-inch ABS clean out in this area. And so root had penetrated that area. And we're just going to go ahead and pull out, and that will conclude our video sewer inspection.